Welcome to Crypto Corner. And today my co-host is Joe. And Joe and I are going to speak about all things NULS and NFT. Also, Adrian from DAO1 has joined us. So we're going to also be welcoming Adrian and talking to him. And Pedro from Nifty Fuse has joined us. And I want to welcome everybody else. So Pedro and Adrian and Joe, would you introduce yourselves, please? Why don't we start with Adrian?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Kathy, for inviting me. Last time when I was supposed to be here, actually, I was on a flight to Malta, attending Malta Week. So happy to join today on a very short notice, and hopefully we'll be able to contribute to many shows. My name is Adrian Niculescu. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I'm involved in the blockchain space since 2016. And we just added to the NULS program SCO DAO1 recently. DAO1 is a decentralized autonomous organization built on Ethereum. Also, we have a bridge to a Polygon and to Binance Smart Chain, and most of the action will be moved to PancakeSwap and Binance Smart Chain. We have very close centralized exchange listing, and we want to contribute as much possible to the ecosystem. I consider NULS being a sleeping giant, and it's very good that the team is building, and I believe that very soon the SEO program will be one of the next big things in crypto, with a queue of projects to get in. And I find a multi-chain and multi-staking few very, very important trends which will drive the crypto market over the next few years.
Okay. Welcome, Adrian, and thank you for your predictions and insights into the future of crypto. I love the idea that the SCO program on our blockchain and any blockchain becomes a very popular feature moving forward, and also, of course, multi-chains is the way to go. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Pedro, would you please introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. I'm the co-founder of Nifty Fuse, a project that intends to make NFTs deflationary by allowing users to fuse one or more NFTs into one, and allowing people to cross-chain their NFTs into multiple chains. Our project is currently doing the IDO and public sale phase. Tomorrow we will finish the public sale phase with our IDO at 11 a.m. UTC. And currently, if you want to win $100, you can just retweet and tag 3 friends in Twitter, and you are eligible to win $100 in Fuse tokens.
That sounds great, Pedro. Thank you. And Pedro, would you please repost your Twitter on NULS community so people can read the instructions for your $100 retreat campaign?
Yes.
Okay,
just
thank you.
Give me a minute.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Pedro. And Joe, please introduce yourself, AKA Crypto Dealer. Please introduce yourself, Joe.
I'm the crypto dealer. It's only that. Joe. My name is Joao. As you can see, I'm community leader on NULS and NULS ambassador for Portugal. And I'm part of NULS West team as well. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And Joe, when you laugh and say I'm crypto dealer, like that's a very interesting way to introduce yourself. I think that's great. And
Exactly.
yes, yes. Thank you. Okay, and my name is Kathy Norman. It's a pleasure to be here today. I have a lengthy history in IT. And then one day I was introduced to blockchain. And after I started to understand blockchain, which took me more than one day to start to figure out, I realized that blockchain offered something that those of us in IT are struggling to do, which is secure our services and secure our data. And blockchain is redundant by the number of servers that it automatically deploys or typically deploys, and its data is secure. And after I figured that out, I learned more and more about blockchain, and now I have the privilege of working with NULS. So welcome. And Joe, how do you want to structure today? Shall we start talking to Pedro, or
Yeah,
what?
I want to ask a question to Adrian since he started talking about DAO one.
Please.
Can I?
Okay.
Yeah. I like DAO. Can you explain to me how your DAO works?
You mean the governance feature
Exactly.
or the whole ecosystem? So
Can be the whole ecosystem.
the
Yeah.
whole and how we approach things actually. I believe that decentralization, and we love this idea, gives back the power to the user, to the little guy, to us. But with this power also comes responsibility, and more companies and business models want to follow and to adopt the DAO way of doing things. And I don't know if it was discussed here, but also now the companies in Wyoming, in US, can be incorporated as being DAOs, which is a huge step forward. So besides being a DeFi project with staking and farming and having its own token, DAO One wants to be an ecosystem to grow new startups and new companies. That's why there is a hackathon. We did the first edition in summer, and we are working on the second one. And the winners of the hackathon are incubated later. So the holders of DAO One to be able to participate in the launch of the projects which are incubated, either to receive airdrops from the tokens of the startups, or to invest to purchase very early tokens, or to have access to discounted products and services. So this is an angle which is different, and it's not a launch pad necessarily. The purpose is to create new businesses this way. And the governance feature, which started to be used not in full mode, so in test mode over the last 2 months, because we need to train the community to use this feature, is actually allowing the users to decide on the most important things related to the future of DAO One. And the first decision was related to removing the liquidity from QuickSwap, and this liquidity to be allocated to PancakeSwap. And it's actually once you hold a number of DAO1 tokens, you have a certain voting power, which is limited, of course, to allow this project to remain decentralized.
Okay, I get it. So your approach with DAO1, it's different of the approach of Olympus DAO, for example, right? It's not the same way that you target the treasury, right? Do you know Olympus DAO? Hello?
Adrian, are you there? I think we may have lost Adrian briefly, Joe.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to
Mm.
NFTs and
Yeah,
shall we go?
Pedro,
And then we
are you there,
can
Pedro?
go back to Adrian.
Yes, I'm here.
So I know that you are close to launch, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow? Where
Yes.
and what time?
After the IDO at 11 a.m., we will then launch the beta of our website at 16 p.m. UTC. At the same time we launch at PancakeSwap, we will launch the beta version where you will be able to fuse and burn NFTs. The version of certificates will not be ready yet, but it will be soon, the certificates fusion.
Okay. And the users community can participate tomorrow on your IDO. What is
Yes.
needed to participate?
You don't need anything to participate. The minimum amount is 200 USDT and the max amount is 1000 USDT. And you just need to show up at DAO Starter and invest. It is a public.
DAO Starter on Binance Smart Chain, right?
Yes, DAO Starter at Binance Smart Chain.
Okay. Okay. They need to buy with BUSD, right? Okay. Guys, if you are interested in Nifty Fuse, you can buy it tomorrow on public sale of in DAO Starter.
Can you hear me okay now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear
Oh,
Yes,
you
we
now.
sorry.
can, Adrian.
It
Yes, we
was
can.
from the internet, I believe. So
It
came
was my
back.
question.
I just said that I don't know about that project, and usually when I don't know about something, I said that I don't know, but I will check it immediately, because there is always a learning curve, and I take it with both hands.
Yeah, take a look it because it's a innovative way to grow the treasury of a DAO, and in the same way reward the community for participate. You need to take a look. Yeah, I think it will be great approach if you follow this way.
Perfect. Maybe you can send me a link to be sure
Yeah.
that I target the correct project.
Yeah.
What-
I will do it right now.
Perfect. We also, because I was at Malta Week, there are so many new projects here, and of course, many speaking slots partners. We are looking to create some very good partnerships between DAO1 and other projects. And one of the goals with the incubation program is to find some startups with their products or services which will enhance the DAO1 ecosystem. So their creations actually to be involved in the future development of the project. It's not easy because it's a project built from scratch. So we are building. The same NULS is doing. I believe that this market will grow and will develop if people will build stuff instead of just promoting the idea. You put 100 USDT now and Lambo later or something like that. And it can become a huge market. It's still in its infancy, and I believe the ones who will work like crazy into this direction will be able to reap the rewards later.
Yeah, I believe in that. I think DAOs will be the next big thing, but needs to gain some attraction of mechanisms to be attractive for normal user participate.
And one idea I would like to point out, if you're allowing me, regarding one of there are two things, two ideas from this Malta week. One of the question which was asked was, okay, where do you see the industry in 5 years? So I believe the most important thing is, what can we do for this industry over the next 5 years? Because it doesn't matter what we believe now. I believe it matters what we are doing. How we are contributing to this industry, I believe. And the second one, the DeFi adoption still is slower than expected. And I believe that there is a battle between this new world and the old world. And there are so many managers and middle managers making a lot of money from the old world. And they are resisting to upgrading themselves, upgrading the knowledge, because it's harder to go to a course or to study something new than binging on TV, right? And this battle will continue for years, and I see this as one of the drawbacks for the adoption of DeFi and of the decentralized idea. Of course, we could speak for days about it, so I'll finish now, not to take over the whole show.
No, it's okay. I want to listen the opinion of Pedro about what you said. What do you think, Pedro?
Yeah, everything that eliminates middlemen is great. So, in my opinion, you are doing a great job if you are trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Joe, DAO 1 is doing something else to battle the old world, and DAO 1 is creating an educational branch as a means of educating people who are very new to crypto and people who have some familiarity with crypto. So it's kind of it's a way to onboard people who want to try something in crypto but don't know where to start. And I think that's a great contribution for drawing people on board and increasing the population who actually knows something about crypto.
Anyway, still
So
we
thanks
have
for doing that, Adrian.
in our circle, actually, because we speak like the same slang, we have the impression that it's easy for everybody to digest blockchain, to digest crypto, but in reality it's not. Actually, it's very hard for most people to not necessarily to understand, because it's like with electricity, you can use it without understand it, and at the surface, the platforms should be so intuitive that even grandma could
Yes.
use it without any any problems. Just that most of the platforms are done for geeks. So
Yes,
you have
they
to be
are, Adrian. They
you
are.
have to be a little geek to use it, and I became a geek over the last few years. What can I say?
Yeah. Adrian, do you see more users using your product, more users voting and doing proposals and so on your product?
Yes, it's related to the engagement, and we say, okay, we want our community to be educated, so to know how to analyze projects, to understand why is important to be part of such a community and to contribute to the development of the community. So we want to educate our users to behave in this way, because at the end of the day, it's a new paradigm and it will be in their own interest.
Exactly. And they just can vote, or they can make proposals too.
For the moment, they can vote. With proposals, this is the next step.
Okay, so the proposal
we did something like they can submit proposals, but in an old-fashioned way. For now, the voting works very well in a framework, but the next step will be with the proposals. As said, it was a platform built from scratch. It wasn't a white label or something like that. So we did things step by step. And of course, with staking and farming, the main care is related to security, because one of the big problems in DeFi is that the security flows can be very dangerous for the user's funds. And it becomes a heartbreaking experience, which will drive people away if there are hacks or things like that. So slowly the things are moving. The users are kept in the loop with the highs, with the lows, with good experience and bad experience. So very bad experiences related to the development of the platform, because this is the best way they to be kept in the loop. And things are evolving. This is very important, I believe.
Yeah, agree. And Pedro, your product will be decentralized as well?
Our intention is to be, but at start we will be centralized, of course, and we will do the same process as other platforms and decentralize things, being our token the main utility token, the governance, of course.
Okay. The token, it will be used for pay fees
Proposals.
and it will be used for fees?
Yes,
Or
but only in exchange where the gas fees are low. For example, in Ethereum, you need to hold tokens to mint and fuse NFTs. But in Binance Smart Chain, you need to pay the fees with you need to pay a small fee with the fused tokens. It's to avoid in Ethereum to pay a lot of fees if you want to mint an NFT. That is a fusion.
understand.
And a percentage of the royalties that Nifty Fuse will receive if NFTs are sold will serve to buy back the token.
Okay, so your token, it will be like an utility token, right? With
We are
some
doing yes, we are doing everything to give more utility to the token.
Okay, and Adrian, your token, it will be necessary wallet to vote, right?
What do you mean?
To vote on on
To
the
vote.
poll.
Yeah. I didn't understand. Sorry. So once you have DAO1 tokens, yes, you have the right to vote. And by the way, I wanted to add another idea after hearing Pedro. Still, after 10 years, there isn't any globally widely adopted crypto digital currency. Of course, you have cards like the ones from Binance, where you can go with the card and make the payment to buy a coffee. But besides this solution, there isn't a widely adopted digital or cryptocurrency. We did with DAO1. There is a processor, a crypto processor called IvanPay, and we did a partnership. We list DAO1 into their platform, so actually you can go to their vending machines and you can buy a snack or something using DAO1 tokens. And also they have POSs in shops, and there is a growing network, so you can go to buy bread using your DAO1 tokens, which is a very nice step towards adoption. And I see, looking in the future, that tokens and coins will have to specialize on certain niches. You know, like, for example, this IvanPay network, they have like 10, 20 coins and tokens listed. You can use to buy a set bread or coffee or something like that. And by joining NULS program, actually, in the case of DAO1, let's say users can stake NULS and receive DAO1 tokens, and after that can go to DAO1's website to stake their own DAO1s for even more DAO1s. I believe that APY is around 52% a year. And as said, they can buy a bread or a coffee on IvanPay's network. And of course, these cooperations and integrations will grow. But at the end of the day, is about how you can use these digital assets in the real world. And if you allow me, but this is very controversial, I see speaking as a contribution to this market. And also I write articles in different magazines. One of them is Corporate Investment Times. It's like a Forbes for digital assets. And the last article I've published in November, it's about the 4-minute mile in crypto. If you know from running, the 4-minute mile is actually the idea that for so many years, people were not able to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. But the moment this record was broken, so many other people did this thing. And the article is about the 4-minute mile in crypto. And currently, this one is the market cap of Bitcoin. And people, when analyze the prices and projects, they say, okay, it will never surpass the market cap of Bitcoin. But I believe in the near future, with the adoption of fiat to crypto gateways and other things, which slowly are lowering the dominance of Bitcoin, the market cap of Bitcoin will become obsolete because it will be surpassed by other assets. I said it's controversial, but I think it will happen. And the moment it will happen once, it will happen over and over.
Yeah, it will happen, of course. You just need to imagine that if all companies on the world lose, for example, Ethereum, of course, will pass the the market cap of Bitcoin, for sure.
Correct.
But yeah, I understand your point.
It's like with MySpace. When Facebook appeared, people said, "Oh, nobody can take the domination of MySpace." But people have shifted their interest. I believe this is the major the major threat of Bitcoin. People and investment funds and institutional investors simply to change the focus from Bitcoin to something else.
Mhm.
Yeah. Could happen, of course. But
It's
don't
a little
forget,
bit controversial,
yeah,
but
yeah,
maybe
but
after. Sorry.
yeah, but don't forget that people who's Ethereum need Ethereum to pay fees. That's why
Correct.
it's a utility token. That's why companies or whatever that runs on Ethereum need to use it, and users that use need to use. But don't forget that you don't hold forever a coin, right? So when you want to swap, you will swap for the stable or for Bitcoin. That's why it's I think it's difficult to surpass Bitcoin, but it's of course possible. But I don't think I think it will be what word I can use. Bitcoin can be in first, then can be in second, then can be in first again, then can be in second. Understand? It
Correct.
will not be a fixed thing, right?
Mhm.
Mm. That's my point of view.
Thanks, Joe. And as history will tell us, nothing survives forever. For a long time, Rome ruled the world, or at least ruled a large part of the world, and then suddenly it fell. So
Correct.
thanks for that, Adrian. That's very interesting about your article there. That's something I had thought about.
You can share your article here if
Yeah, wanted. I will share it. I will share it in the NULS community
Mhm.
yeah.
after the call.
And you,
Mhm.
Pedro, do you think that Bitcoin can be surpassed,
I
even if
think
it
so.
was for days or minutes, weeks?
I think it will be surpassed by a project like Ethereum or maybe Solana that is able to bring companies, because
Pedro, you are mute.
for me, Bitcoin will be surpassed by Ethereum and other, and maybe Solana or other projects that have ability to bring companies and value to the blockchain, because Bitcoin for me is just an asset as gold is. For me, products and services will always surpass assets that are a reserve. That is my opinion, but of course I think that Bitcoin will always be a proof of concept that created the blockchain, and that have a lot of value in my opinion. But I think it will be surpassed in maybe 1-2 years.
Yeah, but I think we can't forget that we don't know what will happen in next 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, we don't know if smart contracts at Bitcoin will happen, so or it will have success.
Yeah,
So,
that's my point. If they can get away like Arbitrum do in Ethereum, for example,
yes,
on Bitcoin, it could be a push, and in that way it will be difficult to anyone surpass Bitcoin, even if we look to Bitcoin like a reserve. That's my point.
yeah, they need to improve the technology. If they stand as the technology as they have right now, they will not succeed. But I think they will succeed if they improve their technology. They have great programmers, so I think they are capable of keeping Bitcoin actual or contemporary.
Yeah, they are a lot of proposals on Bitcoin for that, but the problem is it's the time they took to go forward with them. But
It's
yeah,
difficult to find consensus in Bitcoin network.
yeah,
That is a problem.
exactly. And I think it will be more difficult with time.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Katie.
As mentioned before, NULS can become the next big thing with the SEO program and with other initiatives. How and I said is very important right now, how we can help the industry, not how industry will help us, because this will be a result. If we will be able to be part of a rising ecosystem and be a players, and of course to have some good rewards from it, it will be worth all the effort. So I believe the focus would be how and what we can do for the industry to grow, how we can contribute. And because we have our projects in the NULS program, how we can help the ecosystem, how we can actually increase the NULS market price, So as a result, most of the projects from the NULS ecosystem will grow, and so on.
You are correct. In my opinion, DeFi can help a lot with projects like NULS Swap and others. In that space, NFT Circle, I think that projects can bring a lot of value to NULS, in my opinion.
Yeah, and your opinion is right, because Adrian was asking how can we market value more our NULS token, and the point is, if you need the token, right? You need to pay fees with token, and if you don't have projects building from scratch on the main, you can't contribute to the value of the token. So, as Pedro said, DeFi it's important because it's building in smart contracts and those to pay the fees. That's what happened on Ethereum, right? The value of network increases the fees of the token and the price, because the price goes up. And you can see on Polygon, and you can see on Avax, and you can see on other exchanges that started DeFi. DeFi projects running on the main, right? That's the point. We need to do some noise and build projects from the ground on the main. SEO and POCM, it's amazing, but it's necessary a point to connect these cross-chain solutions, POCM, with other blockchains, and that's where it comes NULS Swap. I think NULS Swap will bring the first step to NULS on the network, and from them, I think more projects will appear and will around NULS Swap, and make some noise on the market with the great tools that NULS have. So imagine that every project that are on POCM can be exchanged on NULS Swap. Imagine that any asset from other blockchains can easily bridge it, because our bridges through Nero don't need liquidity. They work through smart contracts, destroy and create. So it will be a lot easier using NULS Swap and be probably the DEX for all assets. But it will depend, of course, about the communication of NULS Swap and NULS to attract more people to come to our main. I think APYs and so on will attract for sure, but it will need to I forget my word. It's necessary to be very well communicated to crypto community.
Exactly. It will happen in the same that happened in Ethereum. The value will rise because the locked NULS in the pools will rise. So people will need to buy more NULS, and NULS price will grow. In my opinion.
Yeah, more transactions, more TVL, more value token.
Mm-hmm. So, Joe, what I hear is that NULS Swap is a good way to attract more people and DeFi projects to the NULS main blockchain. But we need to talk about it, or people need to know about it. And how do you think is the best way to market a project like this?
First, I think people need to understand what is the goal of NullSwap. NullSwap appears, I think, to how can I say it? To resolve a problem on our network, because we have more of 50 projects on POCM that are not transaction on our main. What this means? This means that they are using our main, but when users can want to swap the token, need to go to other main, like Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, EcoChain, OKEx Chain, Polygon, whatever. So it's one transaction, two transactions, 100 transactions, 1,000 transactions that isn't made on our network. So we are losing value because we are not increasing our transactions and our TVL. That's what NullSwap solves on our network. Then you need to look, how can I bring users from or projects from other blockchains to NullSwap? And it's not difficult to bring projects to a DEX because you don't need to pay, right? If you look to DEX on Binance Smart Chain and so on, you have all the projects listed. But of course, if you look to Pancake, it's more difficult to do farming, right? You need to request, you need to be a centralized stuff there. But what new projects does, like for other projects that are creating new blockchains right now, they facilitate this entry, right? They do campaigns and so on to attract the projects and the users from these projects. And that's where comes APY next. APY, it's what makes people move from one blockchain to other because they want to increase their portfolio, right? Their treasury. So they come. And for come, Nulls have the best solution for cross-chain that exists on the market. It will be not difficult to that. Next, other question that you said, projects build around a NullSwap. That's what happens on the other blockchains. Projects of farming, projects of lending. It will happen because it will be more easier. And I'm not talking about the forks because when you have the code available for community, people will start doing the same thing that you do, right? They will create another NullSwap and with another things and probably better NullSwap and with other users and with other POCM tokens for farming. Do you understand, Katie?
Yeah, I understand.
It's a snowball.
I understand. But let's ask other people. Does everyone else understand the flow here in terms of how NullSwap begins to impact nulls? Any questions in this area, guys?
Who wants to talk? Francisco, came here, talk, say their opinion.
Well, you don't have to talk. You can actually type. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't have to talk. You can type. Oh, Francisco, thank you for typing, and you can Crypto Corner is available for you to voice your opinion when you want to. So thanks. And I see GR is commenting, null swap will be the beginning of the NULS travel.
I think yes, but of course I can be sure, right? But I think and I hope yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Adrian?
I think it's very important that we talk about null swap a lot. I think we've got to. I think we can improve in terms of how we market products and projects, and I think we should take every opportunity to talk about null swap, both within the NULS ecosystem and outside the NULS ecosystem. And I really agree with you, Joe, in terms of the fact that it's important to articulate the value very specifically about null swap.
Yeah.
And as simply as
What do you wanna say,
possible.
Pedro? Think Pedro wanna talk?
Marketing is a great problem that NULS have, in my opinion, too. We need more marketing out of the chain, not in the chain. If you know what I mean. For example, the NULS Stake-at-Home was marketing, but was marketing to people already in the chain. So it didn't attract a lot of people. In my opinion, that should be a thing out of the chain. Bring projects. If you bring projects, you bring communities. If you bring communities, you are bringing people. People that will need to have NULS to trade the tokens. For example, what I have done with Nifty was send them the tokens in the NULS chain, not in Binance Smart Chain. What that created, a lot of users created NULS wallets, and now it's more users using the NULS ecosystem, and that are using the NULS POCM and projects, which means that grows the user influence of NULS. In my opinion, it's what needs to be done to NULS grow. It's bring projects, more projects. It doesn't matter, forks, etc. More projects.
Okay, but Pedro, just highlight again, how do we talk out of the chain? Like, how do we find avenues to speak outside the chain?
Maybe not create avenues to outside of the chain, but for example, create launchpads or create something, create talk with VCs, for example, if they have ideas, or startups, if they have ideas to develop them on NULS, maybe give them support and maybe a little bit of NULS for them to develop their projects, because the other chains are already saturated with projects, but NULS isn't, so they will have a lot of potential to explore here.
Joe, how do you think we can talk outside the chain? Like, how do we attract more people to NULS? I know that null swap is a key for it, but how do we have people become aware of NULS who are not aware of NULS?
For me, it's simple. It's creating projects. It's creating projects, and Pedro gave an excellent example. Why other blockchains are getting attractions? It's because they have a launchpad. What this means? This means that the projects are able to do public sales on the network. What means that other projects can use Launchpad on our main and be launched on NullSwap, for example. And what you are doing, you are creating a structure to support projects with users that NULS have users. We can see on Explorer that we have a lot of users on nodes and whatever, on POCM projects and so on. And people will move because they want to participate. The problem that you have now, it's you have the greatest tools, right? You have good mechanisms, but you just have POCM on our network, and it's very good, but it's not sufficient to compete in other areas of DeFi to other networks. That's why people don't come here and stay. They could come here because one project, whatever, that it's on POCM, like Nifty Fuse, that happens. But they need other stuff to be able to stay in our network. If in the end they need to move from our network to another, we are not winning. Understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So the first step for POCM and ecosystem, I think it's null swap.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if null swap will be launchpad, so I don't know. But if other projects or other dApps look, so there is a DEX there, but there is not a launchpad. Maybe can build launchpad to attract projects, and projects you attract users. That's the point.
Hmm.
But let's see, Katie, for example, crypto.com opened a main weeks ago, and I just go there because the reward was very high, right? I need to deploy the main on my wallet to be able to go there to get rewards. Understand? We are
I
talking
understand. Yeah.
a high reward, and if I go there, many people go there just for that. But when they go there, they install the wallet, they deploy the wallet, they use network, they like network, and stay there because there are a world out on the main. Understand? It's
Mhm.
like you when you go in vacations in holidays, right? And you can go to to a island, right, or to a city. But you go to the island, and you don't want to stay there forever. But if you go to a city, maybe you want to live there in the future, right? It's the same. You can go to north and see what happens, but you you go you go out because it's nothing here to stay a lot of time and lose the network. I think it's at the point.
So this, I hear two things from your comments, Joe. The first one is null swap is the first step. And the second one is that we still need, though, to we still need to attract people to come and check us out. That's a very important thing. And the best incentive is money. The best incentive
Exactly.
is some kind of reward.
It's always money. It's always money. You can be there for the tech, but you want always more money
Mhm.
or more crypto or whatever it's your goal,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Even if you
I hear you.
never sell it, you want to increase your portfolio, so you move it because imagine I can go to other network and have more reward to buy nulls
Yep.
after that,
Yeah.
right? It's my goal because I like
Mhm.
nulls. I want to hold nulls a lot of time, so I want to increase my portfolio in nulls.
Mhm.
I go to other network instead are using mine. Understand? So we need to compete on DeFi. That's why I said, and I will always say that no swap. It will be the first step because it's the first that exists right now, or will be exist in near future. And yeah, I think we do have. If you look to the numbers of NULS SCO, we are talking about 700 more NULS holders because they need to buy NULS to buy NULS swap. So even if we exchange NULS for NULS swap, it will be more 700 holders, right? On NULS with the NRC 20. Understand?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going to read Francisco's comments since we had asked him for an opinion and his point of view. So here is Francisco's comment. NULS should be more, quote, sexy. Null swap will be the best POC to show that we can build a complex DeFi system out of EVM space.
Exactly.
After that, DeFi will grow for sure.
Exactly, Katie. I don't know if you take some time to look what happens in DeFi and other blockchains. The DeFi, the smart contracts of these blockchains, it's all EVM. So it's all virtual
Yes.
machines of Ethereum. So
Yeah.
if NULS can do this step, we will be the first, one of the first ones, right? Using other languages on smart contracts to develop DeFi, and it's important. And it's important why? Because you can attract everyone from AVM with our cross-chain solution to our DeFi and show that it's
Absolutely.
possible.
Yep.
That it's possible to attract users and doing a cross-chain from AVM to other type of blockchain with other type of smart contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's 2 minutes before the hour, so we're going to start to wrap up. But before we wrap up, I'd like to ask each of our speakers to say one more thing that kind of summarizes their view about what we discussed and about blockchain. Pedro, would you begin?
I think that
Wrap
NULS,
us up here.
yes. I think NULS have an excellent future. And NULS swap will be the first thing to bring NULS to the mainstream media of crypto. And NULS have a great technology. So in my opinion, it just needs a little bit more of marketing and projects. Essentially projects. We need projects and communities to come here and stay, not grow to Binance Smart Chain, for example, as I have to sell my token, for example, or to get funds. We need to do it on NULS. And if we are able to do it in the future, I think NULS will explode.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to the explosion, and thank you for your accurate assessment, Pedro. Adrian,
Yes, Kathy.
what would you like to say to be complete here?
To be complete, I would say that the most important thing is to educate ourselves on a continuous basis, because otherwise we can become obsolete and the market will kick us out, which is not easy, but it will pay a lot of dividends in the future. So education is the most important weapon in the development of our still young industry. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity and can't wait to come back and contribute more.
Adrian, thank you for your contributions today. Joe, what would you like to say to take us out?
This call went very fast. 1 hour passed very fast. I like this discussion today. I like to meet Adrian because I didn't meet him on the call, unfortunately. And I very
are very enthusiastic for the future and what comes to NULS. So that's it for me.
Joe, thank you. And I want to thank everybody for participating today, for coming and hanging out with us. It's been a really great call. Thank you again, Joe, for your participation and your excellent insights. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Pedro. And I'm going to turn the recording off now, but I'll leave the voice chat on so that you can take a screenshot of yourself on the voice chat, and then please DM me. And I am very happy to drop some NULS in your account. Thank you again. And this Crypto Corner is done.
Yay!